Los Angeles. Did you wear your cute boots to work today, Gary?
Yeah, of course, Jimmy, of course.
It's a great opportunity to wear your cute boots. Today's Ash Wednesday also. You know, it's a bummer when it rains on Ash Wednesday. You don't even get credit because the ash washes over your head. I like to fill in the smudge with a Sharpie to make sure my mother sees it and it sticks. This year for Lent, we are giving up democracy here in this country. Last night, Donald Trump addressed the nation. I don't know if you heard, but he's president again. And I was surprised, too. But he spoke for 99 minutes last night with no intermission. It was the longest presidential address in more than 60 years. Why is it that the orchestra can play off an Oscar winner, but not the president? Trump's speech went on so long. His speech was 10 minutes longer than The Lion King. True. And had twice as much lion in it, so... I was reading this morning. Do you know how many times Trump lied during his speech last night? 11 million. 3 fact checkers died adding it up. Not everyone was a fan of the King's speech. One gentleman on social media, I think, summed it up pretty well. He wrote, "That may be the angriest, least compassionate, and worst State of the Union speech ever made. It was an embarrassment to our country." Oh, wait, that was what Trump wrote about Biden's speech last year. Well, he topped it. There was plenty of Biden bashing last night. Trump said Biden was the worst president in history. He blamed him for the price of eggs. He said a lot of crazy stuff, but this is one that really stood out for me as he pretended to be concerned about cutting costs and rooting out fraud and all this. He made the claim that under Biden, the federal government was spending $8 million on this.
$8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
No, it's not. You know, you hear the president of the United States say we're spending $8 million to do sex change operations on mice. You assume, well, I'm sure he's exaggerating, but there must be something there. Turns out there's not. It's not real. The government spent money on transgenic mice, which are genetically modified mice they use in lab tests to study disease. It has nothing to do with being transgender other than the trans part of the word. You think they know this and just ignore it, or are they so dumb they don't know how to Google? Or maybe they think we're so dumb we don't know how to Google. I don't know. They're turning Mickeys into Minnies and Minnies into Mickeys. No, they're just trying to cure dementia and heart disease, which you would think Trump would be for, seeing as how they are both coming for him real soon. You know, Marco Rubio, who gave up his job as senator to become Secretary of State. He's the guy who looked like he was about to cry last week during that meeting with Zelensky. He got a shout out from the president as Trump boasted about conquering many new and exciting canals.
To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it. Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, he'll be the first to go. He's the first one fired. He's done. Call Random House. Little Marco has a book to pitch real soon. The Democrats didn't give the president much in the way of enthusiasm last night. They did not applaud. And, of course, he whined about that afterwards. But Republicans more than made up for it. Can you imagine going into a room and being forced to stand up and applaud for somebody? Oh, that happened here tonight? It's different from me. It's, you know, it's not, it isn't, oh, there, did you hit the button? Every time when the president is standing in front of his party, it isn't unusual for them to slobber over every word and clap like a bunch of seals eating sardines. But the adulation for this man, who by every inside account is considered by most of them to be an imbecile, but when the cameras are on, man, oh man, they cannot get enough of everything he says.
We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. I will do away with red traffic lights, only green from now on. Keep it moving. America's momentum is back. Our spirit is back, and measles are back. We love our measles, don't we? Little spots. Pink, pink, pink. So cool. So itchy. I've had them on my balls. Big, big. I also signed an executive order to ban women from having their periods. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. Melania says it's that time of the month, all month. She's fantastic. So much menstruation, Melania. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Clap, buttheads.
That's right. So then after his speech, Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin from Michigan gave the Democratic response. She was good, but she used the word fraught, and that's just not going to work. Trump screaming Pocahontas, she's saying the election was fraught. That's our problem right there. The more powerful rebuttal came from 138-year-old Bernie Sanders of Vermont, whose response to the president was downright poetic.
Trump claimed that the 2020 election was stolen from him and that he won by a landslide. Remember that? A lie. Trump claimed that the January 6th insurrection was a day of love. A lie. Trump has claimed that millions of undocumented people voted and do vote in American elections. A lie. Trump has claimed that climate change is a hoax originating in China. A lie. Trump has claimed that Ukraine started the horrific war with Russia. A lie.
I can listen to that for an hour. That is the Vermont version of a diss track. Bernie is like Kendrick Lamar in orthopedic shoes. This Drake character, he's trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. And then we have the next generation of Democrats. Everyone says Democrats are too passive, too nice, play by the rules. They eat pop chips without dip on them. But those who say that, may I introduce you to Representative Jasmine Crockett from the great state of Texas.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fight with Greenland. Why we fight with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the up, because I'm ready to get on with it.
It's more in line with what we need. Crockett giving it to Tubbs, There are now at least 159 cases of measles in Texas. It has also spread to Georgia, Kentucky, New York, California. It's all over the studio right now. And today we learned that Florida has joined the outbreak club. But don't worry, our Secretary of Health and Human Services is all over it. RFK Jr. says, do not fear. Outbreaks of measles are, quote, not unusual. And he's right. They're not unusual. They're unheard of because we eliminated measles 25 years ago. But now, for a limited time only, they're back. The outbreak in Texas just so happens to be spreading in an area that has a largely unvaccinated population. What are the odds? I don't know. And that's putting Bobby Brainworm in a tough spot. So he wrote an op-ed that said vaccines not only protect individual children from measles, but also contribute to community immunity, protecting those who are unable to be vaccinated due to medical reasons. Okay, good. All true. But, and there's always a but, the decision to vaccinate is a personal one. Right. Listen, so is the decision to work out shirtless in jeans. It doesn't mean it's a good decision. You can't stop measles unless everybody gets vaccinated. The top spokesperson for the Department of Health and Human Services has already resigned over his boss's handling of the outbreak. You know things are bad when a guy who was willing to work for RFK Jr. is no longer willing to work for RFK Jr. They're having a lot of personnel issues at the HHS. This is their leadership structure right now. This is from their official website. You have RFK Jr. at the top, HHS secretary, and below him, Deputy Secretary vacant, which I have more faith in Deputy Secretary vacant right now than I do in RFK. RFK Jr. has admitted to having flown on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane at least 2 times, which is a conundrum for the conspiracy crowd that loves him. Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi, who promised a truckload of new Epstein information, now says the next batch of files may be redacted for national security reasons. National security? I know he had a plane. Did Jeffrey Epstein have a UFO they flew on too? Who could possibly be implicated that plays a role in national security?
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would.
I wish I could see the little hamster wheel turning in his head right then when give me my Sharpie. I may need to redact some things. Let's be honest. The reason this is taking so long is because Trump and Jeffrey Epstein spent more time on planes together than the Wright brothers. They will release Diddy before they release all the Epstein files unredacted. Well, one thing they are releasing is thousands of federal workers. Elon and the DOGE bros have been reportedly using AI to decide which federal employees to fire, which is interesting because someone used Elon's own AI engine, which is called Grok, to answer the following question. They wrote, what is the likelihood from 1 to 100 that Trump is a Putin-compromised asset? Use all publicly available information from 1980 on. And this is the response from Elon's AI. Weighing the decades-long, opaque, and substantial financial ties, intelligence suggesting Russian intent, and Trump's unwavering refusal to criticize Putin despite attacking allies tilt the scale. The lack of transparency, e.g. hiding tax returns, seizing interpreter notes after Putin talks, amplifies suspicion. No smoking gun proves direct control, but the useful idiot scenario, where Trump's ego and debts make him unwillingly pliable, fits the evidence, adjusting for uncertainty and alternative explanations, i.e. ideological alignment or naivete. I estimate that 75 to 85% likelihood Trump is a Putin-compromised asset, leaning toward the higher end due to consistency of his behavior and the depth of his historical ties. Well, I mean, if that's good enough to fire somebody, grok him up, because 85% is very high. And then we learned today that Trump is cutting off both weapons and military intelligence to Ukraine. So maybe we bump that up to 90%. More than 30,000 federal employees have been fired by Elon Musk and DOGE so far. He's taken that dumb chainsaw of his to the VA, the Health and Human Services, Defense Department, State Department, Education, Energy, Agriculture, the CDC, the FAA, the IRS, maybe most inexplicably of all, the National Park Service. One of the best things about this country is our national parks. They are a gift to all of us. And that's largely thanks to the people who devote their lives to protect and maintain them for very little pay. And I want to introduce you to one of those people now. This guy just lost his job at Yosemite National Park for no good reason, courtesy Elon and the DOGE bros. Please say hello to the newly unemployed Nate Vince. Nate, come on out, Nate. That's where Nate works. This is Nate. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Now, Nate, you were, correct me if I have any of this wrong, you were the sole locksmith at Yosemite National Park.
That's correct.
750,000 acres.
Yep.
You're the only guy that's there to get somebody out if they get, like, trapped in the bathroom?
There's other people with keys, but if those locks start to fail, then, yeah, those people are screwed.
Those people will be in the bathroom for the whole rest of their lives. Now, what are the chances that we could trick Elon Musk into going into one of those bathrooms?
I don't know. With a bear is what I propose, but I don't know what the trick is. Getting him to go to the park would be.
Would be interesting.
Challenge.
How did you find out that you were being let go?
Via email.
From an email. You had no idea it was coming.
Nope.
You hadn't done anything wrong.
Nope.
You hadn't been warned anything.
Nope.
You've been actively protesting these fires of yourself and your co-workers.
Yep.
You are the guy who hung this. You remember, did you see this in the news? That flag hung upside down, a distress signal in El Capitan. Nate, you hung that flag.
A group of us, yeah.
A group of you. You guys have been protesting. You're organizing protests. Well, we wanted to do, there's only so much we can do. We want to give you a little job so you can make a little bit of money during this time.
Okay.
So what I would love you to do, if you would be so kind, is we've not had a locksmith on staff at our show. We would like you to put a lock on the minibar in Guillermo's dressing room because we're worried he may be drinking too much.
Yeah.
So, Guillermo, would you mind showing Nate to your dressing room?
Okay, come on, let's go.
Yes, show Nate to your dressing room. Thank you, Nate.
Thanks.
That's Nate Vince. We're going to check back in on them in a minute. Let's check in with Nate, our now former locksmith at Yosemite National Park. How's it going over there, Nate?
Just finished up.
Oh,
Locked
great.
up.
Wow, you did that with such ease, such grace. Guillermo, Guillermo, are you upset about this?
Yeah, this is not good, Jimmy. This is terrible.
Nate, will you make sure it's extra strong because he'll gnaw through that lock like a rat or something, okay?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Don't wrestle over the knife, Guillermo. Come on now. All right, thank you, Nate. We wish you the best. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Oh my God, I can't believe it. We have 20 million subscribers on YouTube.
Unbelievable.
I only wish we got paid for this. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Help us get to 50 million, please. It's an emergency.